Am I live? I think I'm live. Hello. Sorry. Uh, there we go. Okay. Hello, and welcome to the latest in gaming, my gaming news show coming at you live 3 days a week, usually. This week it'll probably just be one. I might stream again tomorrow, but I definitely can't on Friday, and I was busy Monday, so just doing Wednesday this week. Maybe Thursday. We'll see. Um, it's currently Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. And we got a busy news day because we missed a few things the other day. So this is the last 5 days of the week. So biggest news story: Nintendo Switch 2s are being spotted in the wild. We got the full list of Summer Game Fest partners, and Nintendo is one of them, and they haven't been in the past couple of years. We might be getting a Persona 4 remake. We are getting a Death Stranding anime. Reviews are in for Elden Ring Night Rain, and all that and more. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, stick around. If you're feeling generous, why not help a brother out and hit that subscribe button? Okay. How should have fixed my hair before I started. It's like reversed from like a mirror, so it's hard to get used to like fixing your hair on the. Okay, good enough. Okay, so let's just jump into the first story there. I got a bunch of Nintendo Switch 2s being in stores, so I'm just kind of like skim through them all. How is this? Perfect. Okay, first story of the day comes from VGC, Andy Robinson at VGC. Oh, sorry. Some people are already getting their hands on Nintendo Switch 2s. Sorry, just had to say that for clippable reasons. Nintendo Switch 2 consoles spotted at US retailers ahead of launch. Switch 2 pictured at stores with less than 10 days until release. Nintendo Switch 2 consoles have been pictured for the first time arriving at US retailers ahead of the official launch day of June 5th. In a now deleted Reddit post archived by ex-users, an employee of retailer Target pictured Switch 2 console boxes inside of a locked cage, claiming their stores received around 40 consoles. A second image shows the Switch 2 consoles outside of the nondescript boxes, confirming that they are indeed Nintendo's next console. Nintendo Switch 2 is due to launch in less than 10 days on Thursday, June 5th. Yeah. There's just this picture here. Target stores receiving the Switch 2 stock. It's just like, it's like finally happening. It's within our reach finally. And I don't know about any of you watching this, but I did get a pre-order, so I will be getting this on June 5th, and I'm going to be streaming the fuck out of Mario Kart World for a while. I'll probably stream some other things too. I'm excited to boot up Soul Calibur. It's been a long time since I've played that game, and what else is there? There's Wind Waker, but I don't think I'll play that right away. I do want to play through Wind Waker on GameCube, so I'll probably stream it. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff as well. So let's go through this next article. So, because some people are actually like straight up getting their hands on it already, probably not in a legal way, but it's of course it's ending up online, so we have to talk about it. This is also Andy Robinson of VGC. Nintendo Switch 2 is already in some users' hands, but a mandatory update means they can't be played. Now, it's not fully true that games can't be played on it, but I'll go into it more in a sec here. So Nintendo Switch 2 is officially in public hands, but early users have allegedly discovered they're unable to play the console before launch. So YouTuber opening retail Nintendo Switch 2 unit, which based on the retail packaging was likely obtained early in the United Arab Emirates. According to the user, they're unable to actually play the Switch 2 console. However, because it requires an update to function before the official June 5th release date. And this because they are trying to play Switch 1 games on it. And so it's not like the console is going to require you to be online to play games. It's just because they don't have any Switch 2 game cartridges, is what I'm understanding. Because I was watching a video about this earlier, actually. And I think just for the first time maybe that you play Switch 1 games on it, you'll need to get an update so that it will allow them to be played. But when you boot up your console for the first time, if you have a cartridge of Nintendo Switch 2 game, you'll be able to just play that right away. They are unable to actually play the Switch 2 console, however, because it requires an update to function before the official June 5th release date. Second person who has allegedly been able to obtain Switch 2 early is said to have sent proof to the news and deal aggregator Wario64. I have no permission to post pics, but can share that when they try to boot a Switch 1 game, a message prompts, please connect to the internet and update your system, they wrote. According to Wario64 source, Switch 2 games cannot be booted without their mandatory update. If true, it means Switch 2 owners will need to connect their consoles to the internet before they can be used. However, it's also possible that physical games include the system update. With fewer than 10 days until Switch 2's global launch day, some social media users have already posted images of Switch 2 units arriving in stores in the US. However, today is the first indication the units have made their way into public hands. Nintendo Switch 2 is set to launch with all that info. Fun stuff indeed. But yeah, so it's not, there was like unboxing videos online. I don't want to show much though, because I don't want them crazy Nintendo Ninja lawyers to come after me, because they're pretty ban and ban. They like to claim stuff, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, there is unboxing videos online, which is kind of annoying. I don't really want to see unboxing videos. I want to open it myself. Although I will be doing an unboxing video, so maybe I shouldn't say that. Not like a full video. I'm just gonna do like a short, YouTube short, probably post it on TikTok as well. So here's another one to go through here. Nintendo Switch 2 has no issues playing the vast majority of Nintendo Switch. Okay, yeah, actually, what's this one? Oh, that's the same article. Oops. Target leaves dozens of Switch consoles locked in a cage. Yeah, okay, that's the same art, basically the same article earlier. Okay, so enough of that nonsense. Let's move on to the Nintendo Switch and it playing different games. Actually, you know what? This is probably a bit smaller news. So let me just do that, and do that, and okay. Here's a fun one for you. Did Spider-Man accidentally leak a Persona 4 remake? Let me explain. Okay, Persona 4 actor seemingly confirms remake by saying Atlus doesn't want to hire him for it. This comes from Jordan Midler at VGC. Rumors of a Persona 4 remake have persisted for years. Persona 4 actor Yuri Lowenthal has seemingly confirmed the game's long-rumored remake by saying Atlus isn't casting him for it. So here's what I think happened here, because I read this article earlier. He knows of a Persona 4 remake because he has industry connections, and he assumed that it was already announced, but it wasn't, obviously, because he later deleted his tweets about this. So he made some tweets here in a blue sky. Lowenthal wrote, "And for those who keep asking, no, I will not be returning as Yosuke for the Persona 4 remake. I asked, maybe I even begged, but they don't want me to come back. Post not found, it may have been deleted." So, obviously, Sega, the owners of Atlus, who makes Persona, did not like that very much because they haven't announced the game yet. And if you don't know, Yuri Lowenthal is Peter Parker in the Spider-Man games. The most recent ones on PlayStation, and also he plays him in other Spider-Man games as well. He's a very seasoned voice actor. He's one of like the 5 voice actors in video games that plays every character. There's also you got Troy Baker, Nolan North, Laura Bailey, Ashley Birch, and that's like the squad that makes up 90% of the voices in all the video games. Not that I have a problem with them. I might have a problem with Troy Baker. I don't really like him. But, not that I have a problem with them. I just think there's so many amazingly talented voice actors out there in the world. I feel like they should give other people a chance. Also because they probably cost a lot of money to get, and it's not like I really don't think Troy Baker is like, anybody's that big of a Troy Baker fan that they will, buy a game just because he's in it. So I think it's weird that they cast like the same 5 people in every game, but anyways, okay, so let's read on here. Neither Sega nor Atlas have announced a remake of Persona 4, but reports have persisted for some time that one is currently in development. The last Atlas remake, Persona 3 Reload, was released in 2024, where it was met with critical and fan acclaim. Wow. Yuri Lowenthal is a veteran voice actor, perhaps best known in video game circles as the voice of Peter Parker in Insomniac's Marvel Spider-Man. See? Persona 4 was released in 2008 on the PS2, making it one of the final significant releases for the system. The game eventually came to PS3 as a PS2 classic in 2014, but a native PS3 version was never released due to Atlas focusing its resources on Persona 5. Special edition release, a game called Persona 4 Golden, was released on PlayStation Vita in 2012. So that's just going more into that. So that's interesting. I'm kind of annoyed because I recently purchased Persona 4 Golden on my Switch, and I haven't started it yet, so I feel like now I might just end up waiting for this. I'm like, well, that was kind of a waste of money. But, you live and learn, I suppose. Next thing I want to talk about is that Summer Game Fest is looking pretty stacked this year. So this, another VGC article. It's always VGC. They're really good, so I just like using their articles. This comes from Chris Scullion, also at VGC. Summer Game Fest 2025 partners confirmed, including the return of Nintendo. So yeah, they announced that. I don't have to read it, but I just want to look at the tweet here. It's round 1 of, wait a second. Is there a round 2? Okay, now I have to look at the article. Browder announced 60 plus. This year's Summer Games Fest live kickoff show will last 2 hours, take place on Friday, June 6th. You're really going to make me put down my Switch 2 for 2 hours, Jeff? Okay, so here, let's see what we got here. Don't know these guys. 2K, obviously, huge company. They do, NBA 2K, and they're also Take-Two owns them as well. Oh, let me just didn't realize here. I'll just make myself a little small there, just for a second. Here. Getting woozy. Okay. Okay. Amazon Games. Nothing too surprising here. Bandai Namco, Atari, Devolver. What are the big ones here? Day of the Devs, CD Projekt. So we might get some info around maybe Cyberpunk on Switch. Or we might end up getting another trailer for Witcher 4. That could be cool. Capcom, lots of potential stuff from Capcom. Blumhouse Games, that's cool. What else do we have here? IO Interactive. So we might get more information on the James Bond game that they're making. That could be pretty sweet. MetaQuest, Magic the Gathering. I don't know most of these. Nexon, Niantic and Nintendo right here. So but all right, Niantic, I guess they're not. I was thinking they were Game Freak for a second. Niantic does a lot of mobile games, but they did make Pokemon Go. So I don't know. Might get some info about that, but I can't imagine. Nintendo Switch 2, though. I wonder. This would probably. I was thinking that there was a chance we might get a Switch Direct in June, but now I'm kind of thinking probably not if we're getting some Nintendo stuff here. I wonder what it'll be, though. Like, I kind of don't think it's going to be anything too interesting, to be honest. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Sega, maybe. I don't know. If they were going to announce that Persona remake at this, I feel like they would say Atlas instead of Sega, even though Atlas is owned by Sega. Razer, PlayStation, that's sweet. I wonder what we'll get there. I'm hoping. My hopes PlayStation would be probably Wolverine. That'd be sweet. More info from that Naughty Dog game. What was that called? Intergalactic, but I can't imagine. I would say we'd be lucky to get Wolverine. Maybe we'll get Fair Games. Um, PlaySide, Steam. Wonder if we'll get. Ooh. Maybe we'll finally get. What's that one? Half-Life 3 announced officially, because it seems to be almost done apparently. Supermassive Games, Xbox, and Yacht Club. Yacht Club makes Shovel Knight, I believe. You have a question, Ernie boy. Oh, hey. What's up? What's your question? This is exciting. I don't get questions very often. I'm going to move my thing back here, though. Oops. Oh, crap. Now I'm trying to fix my webcam here. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, that's all I wanted to cover for that. But yeah, let me know what your question is, and I can answer. Next thing I'm going to talk about is Elden Ring. Oh, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. I'll read that. If I were you, I wouldn't even have started streaming with 0 viewers. I just want to say I love your confidence and that you keep and that you keep going. Stay strong, man. Really appreciate it, man. Really, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I just I been a big fan of games for a long time, so just loving having an outlet to talk about them. And honestly, sometimes when I have one viewer, it's like worse than having zero, because it's like you just know there's one person watching you. But no, I really appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. Um, I think I will move on here though to Elden Ring Night Rain. So we got some reviews posted for that, and it looks like it's kind of middling. Yeah, so let me just. Or here now, I'll bring up Metacritic first. So 78 on Metacritic, that's pretty good, but compared to like regular Elden Ring, let me check regular Elden Ring. I don't know what that is actually. 96. Yeah, see, not even close. It's still good, but like, I don't know. 70. Wait, what was it again? 78. Yeah, just not amazing. So I'll just read through the start of this though, because I'm not super interested in the game. I'm more of a single player guy, but yeah. Elden Ring Night Rain review: a clumsy multiplayer sideshow to the generation's best RPG. From Software's latest game takes big swings but loses plenty of the Elden Ring magic along the way. So who wrote this review? Oh, Jordan Midler. That makes sense. He does everything there. What makes a Souls game? Is it the difficulty? Is it the obtuse storytelling? Is it the spectacular worlds that you inch through, getting better and better each time you play? For every Souls player, it's one of or a mix of all of these. Which is why, despite featuring plenty of the tenets of the Souls series and a fleeting moments of high-stakes multiplayer romp, it's disappointing that Elden Ring Night Rain recontextualizes them in a way that quickly loses the magic and pushes the limits of Elden Ring's combat system to breaking point. Oh, that's not great to hear. Elden Ring is sublime. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is even better. I have to try the Erdtree. I never fully finished Elden Ring, so I never started up the Erdtree. I'm thinking I might pick it up on Switch when it comes out, but maybe not because it's expensive and I've already got it on PlayStation. So my disappointment with Elden Ring Night Rain does not come from a dislike of the genre. On the contrary, the parts I like about the game are the times it feels the most like Elden Ring. The issues are numerous, chief among which is that it misunderstands what people flock to Elden Ring for and makes puzzling design decisions that result in a rare misstep for From Software. Instead of building your own character from scratch, Elden Ring expedites the Souls process by giving players a pre-made character with its own abilities and ultimate power. The 8 characters offer diversity in playstyles, making interesting team compositions. For example, one character can double all damage done to bosses for a certain period of time. Another can spawn a huge obelisk. Yeah, I don't know. Context. Each match is 30 to 40 minutes. And I think this is pretty similar to like Fortnite. Like you start on like a kind of big map that gets smaller. Each match begins with 3 players or 1, but we'll get to that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to skip to that part because this is really long. Damn. know what? I just skipped to the end. Elden Ring Night Rain is an overly clumsy attempt to graft multiplayer antics to one of the best RPGs ever. While its roguelike elements may entertain, a lack of variety and uneven combat systems ultimately make for a curious sideshow that doesn't come close to the series that shares its name. Yeah, so it's definitely disappointing to hear. It's not crazy surprising because this is From Software making it, and they've had multiplayer in a lot of their games, but they seem to be kind of lacking in that a lot of the time. So it makes sense that their multiplayer game is lacking, and not even that it's like bad, because 3 stars isn't bad, and like 78 isn't bad, but compared to, I think, what did I say, like 94 that the like base Elden Ring has, it's just like you can't beat that. And like multiplayer games are so much harder, I find, or I feel like, than compared to single player, to like make it good and addicting and last, and like have servers that work and function, and have it easy to play with friends and everything. So I just feel like there's a lot more to juggle when it comes to that, and they didn't come out perfectly, but I feel like some people are really going to enjoy this. What's the next thing I wanted to go over? Okay, so yeah, so that's all like the big news I wanted to cover. There's a couple of smaller things. We're getting a Pokemon Presents soon. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this is getting Pokemon Presents July 22nd, I suppose. And then Pokemon ZA, the next game from the Pokemon Legends ZA, Z to A, is coming out on October 16th. So that's kind of cool. Next thing, Cyberpunk 2 is officially in pre-production, which is pretty neat to hear, to see. Yeah, so what, it'll be like 15 more years before we see it? I wonder if it'll be as broken as Cyberpunk 1 is. I can't imagine they'll launch it as broken as the first one. Excuse me. Oh, here's another pretty big thing. This would have been a main story if I didn't have like so many big things, but Death Stranding anime is in the works from Hideo Kojima. Yeah, so now we're getting a live action adaptation of it, I think, in a movie, and an anime as well. So there's not a whole lot of info on this, but Kojima mentioned it in an interview with Vogue Japan. And finally, Nintendo Switch 2 has no issues playing the vast majority of Nintendo Switch games tested so far. So yeah, I think because with every new console comes like some hiccups. Ideally, every console would be backwards compatible, but like it's just every console has different hardware, so that's not fully possible. Sometimes it is like the Wii was basically just a beefed up GameCube, so backwards compatibility on that system was like super easy. And that's why, if you've ever played the like emulator Dolphin, it plays both Wii and GameCube games, because the Wii is just a more powerful GameCube with motion controls. Like, makes sense. But what I've heard for the Switch 2, since it is quite different hardware, it's a lot more powerful than the Switch 1, because the Switch 1 sucked. It's like, it's a mix of emulation and hardware. So, there's definitely going to be some hiccups, and to know that around 75% of the 1500 plus work on the Switch 2 is pretty great to hear. I know one that doesn't work for sure is Nintendo Labo, and that's just because it's like you need the peripherals for those games, and part of the peripherals is putting them into like putting the controllers and stuff into the cardboard, and it's just all different sizes and stuff. So obviously it's not going to work for a Switch 2. There was another one that I thought though. Oh yeah, I don't think Ring Fit Adventure works either, because that's another one where you need that peripheral to like, lock into the thing there, and it's just different with the Switch 2. So here's a graph here. Nintendo games, partner games. See, this is no issues found for all of this except for this one little red line where it's not compatible. But partner games, it's great to see. Yeah, pretty much all of them here. And then we have some with minimal. They can be started, but further tests are in progress. And then tiny sliver, like the actual tiniest sliver of the game is playable with certain issues in certain parts of the game. Issues are found, another little sliver, and not compatible, another little sliver. So it's great to see that they're having very little problems porting, the entire library of Switch games to the Switch 2, because I know this was definitely more of a process when it came to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles. Like, they have pretty good backwards compatibility with like pretty much everything, but I don't think it's quite this strong. Like, I think it's pretty weak comparatively. But yeah. And I think they're kind of like fixing it more and more over time. But I know like Xbox One originally came out and they never planned for it to release Xbox 360 games. So then later in the generation, they had to like go back and fix that. And there's almost so much they can do because they need to get like licensing for some games to fix them to work on an Xbox One. So, like a lot of licensed games on the Xbox 360. I know there's one specific one I really wanted to play was like a Simpsons game, because I remember I rented it back on the Wii like years and years ago, and I got to the final level and I never beat it. So I really wanted to rent the Xbox 360, or I really wanted to play the Xbox 360 version on my Xbox One, and it just does not play. And there's no way to like buy it on the shop or anything. Like, I'd have to get the disc and insert it. Like, just would have been too much of a process, and like finding it online, such like a niche Simpsons game. So that specific game didn't work. So might as well, honestly, none of them should at that point. Yeah, actually, I think that might have been the last thing I wanted to cover today. I appreciate anybody who's watching, especially you, Ernie boy. I really appreciate your kind words there. That was so nice, man. But yeah, I might be back on tomorrow. I usually do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I'm busy Friday, so I might just come back tomorrow and do another one. If there's enough news and if I'm not busy. But I'll probably also be streaming some games. Might do Oblivion in the next couple of days. Oh my goodness, I'm getting viewers right as the stream's ending. Hello, if you're coming in. Thanks for watching the last couple seconds of my stream. You can subscribe if you want. I'm going to be talking about news again in a couple of days, and I also stream games sometimes. We'll be streaming the Switch 2 when it comes out. All right. Anyways, thanks for anybody here watching live. Appreciate it.